Hello and welcome to the fifth and final step of the Enrollment and Attendance training module for CitySpan. This video is going to go over how to track daily attendance in the database. By now you should have already entered your site information, added youth to the database, created a program schedule, and enrolled youth in that program. If you can't remember how to do those steps or want a refresher on those steps, links to those videos are in the description box below. So tracking attendance is a very regular process, a very regular activity in CitySpan. And so I wanted to make sure that you knew how to get to the attendance tracking pages right after you log into the database. So that's why we're starting outside of the login page now. As a quick reminder, you'd be going to boston.cityspan.com. The URL is up here. But yeah, let's get into the database now. After entering the system, again, you're seeing that first page with a list of all the organization and sites you have access to as a user. Clicking into the site that you want to track attendance for, just click on the name of it. And attendance is tracked through the Program List tab. So similarly to creating the program and enrolling youth via this tab, you'll also be tracking the daily attendance for that program in the Program List tab as well. So we're going to click on that. Click on the name of the program that you'd like to track attendance for. And then as you can see, so we updated the schedule via the General Info tab, we enrolled youth via the Enrollment tab, and then right next to that is the attendance. So it kind of goes through step by step as you're going across from left to right on these tabs. So just click into the attendance tab here. And this shows, all the dates, all the dates of the program. The default view is going to show you any empty days through the current date. But since this is a program that's happening in the future from when I'm filming this, all of the empty dates, all of the dates are available for your view. To track attendance, you're going to click on the date, and what will show up is a full bubble sheet with all of the enrolled students and their present, absent, or unscheduled bubbles. So present and absent are pretty self-explanatory. Unscheduled is kind of funky. Unscheduled is really used when a student is not, technically enrolled for that day. So let's say you have a student who is enrolled in the program only for Mondays, or Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and they go to another program on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You know that you're not expecting them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That is when you'd be using the unscheduled option. So it's really to kind of, quote unquote, unenroll them for that day, or unenroll them for that current day of programming. It should not be used for excused absences. We really want, so the kind of purpose of the present and absent is to really get an idea of, a student's dosage in the program. And even if it's an excused absence, that's still affecting their experience in the program, their dosage in that program, which is why unscheduled is really to kind of, quote unquote, unenroll them from that program, but absent is really to kind of, for any excused or unexcused absences. So that's just kind of, a brief vocabulary lesson on these kind of three different options. Tracking attendance is pretty self-explanatory. In these bubble sheets, you could just kind of go through and manually update any of the bubbles, but a really easy way to track attendance every day is to actually click the All Present button in the upper left-hand corner of this box here. So what that'll do, obviously, is mark every student in this list present. And from there, you can just go ahead and focus on the students that you know are absent. And so it's just a really kind of quick, faster way of tracking each day's attendance so that you're not having to go through and kind of manually press each of the buttons. You can just go ahead, mark everyone present, and then you're only kind of manually updating the absences or the unscheduled students. Once you've kind of finalized attendance for a day, you can either save a next day if you're doing it at the end of the week, or you can just click the save button there. Another thing that you can do on this page is to update the times, in and out that the students have. So let's say Jason Derulo left early on Monday, June 26th. All you have to do is just click on the linked times now, and then a little drop down pops up, and you can update the time that he ended the program on that day. This is certainly not a requirement for tracking attendance in this particular database, but if it's helpful for you, if it's something that you want to be tracking in this database, that certainly is an option for you there. So as I said, you can save a next day, and then go ahead, press the all present, and just go through and make sure that you are checking the relevant absent students or the unscheduled students. Yeah, and so that's pretty much it. So then a few just kind of updates on what the different colors mean. So as you can see, now that we've completed the attendance, those numbers have turned to green for the 26th and the 27th. Another different color is sometimes if you're like inputting attendance manually like this, and you get tired and you stop and you save, you can go back to the date view, and you can see that it's been turned to yellow, or like this kind of browny golden color. So this is basically just indicating that attendance is an incomplete entry for the day. So when it's complete, you'll see the green. When it's incomplete, you'll see this kind of golden browny color. And when you haven't done any tracking, it'll turn up as red. All right, and that's it. So now you know what the different colors mean, you know what present, absent, and unscheduled mean, and kind of how to go through the process. There are a few other ways of tracking attendance that might be helpful for you. I'm not going to go through them in this video, but if you're interested in seeing the 3 different ways that you can track attendance in CitySpan, there's a link to the video in the description box below. And with that, we have come to the end of the enrollment and attendance enrollment and attendance training module for CitySpan. If you need any resources or you have any questions on tracking attendance specifically or on the enrollment and attendance process as a whole, go to the Insight Center, insight.bostonbeyond.org/CitySpan.